What is going on, Nav Nation, and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are having a great start to your week and a happy Monday to all of you. We're going to have a little bit of a chat here today, kind of laid back type of discussion. So go ahead and sit back and relax. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever caffeine of choice you choose, and let's go ahead and discuss what is going on in the current market. And the big discussion that I want to get into here today is all about fear and how that fear continues to permeate throughout the hobby. Now, a forewarning right off the bat, your boy PokéNav has not gotten a whole lot of shut-eye over this last week. As you guys know, I celebrated the birth of our second child, and although that is a momentous occasion and we are so proud, that also comes with the territory of not getting a whole lot of sleep. And then on top of that, I have also been downing a copious amount of coffee, so this should make for a really interesting conversation. And as I said, the core of it is all about fear, and much of that fear really connects back to the price drops that we continue to see really across the board, not just in Pokemon, but across many other TCGs. And the ones that we'll talk about here right off the bat are Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Vivid Voltage. So we've seen the prices on the sealed booster boxes continuing to drop, and many online retailers or brick and mortar stores continuing to liquidate a lot of these products. And we've talked about this in the past, right? Why we're seeing this price decline. There's a lot of different factors that have been involved here. One specifically with Battle Styles is that large allocation of products that came in the second wave, where many third-party dealers, online stores, or brick and mortars really could not get the prices that they were looking for in that first wave, and have had to liquidate. They've had to basically divulge themselves of a lot of this product just to break even with the release of Chilling Reign, and just so many different things that go into that. But we've gone into that ad nauseum many times in the past. But what you guys are seeing right now out on the open market, Battle Style sitting at around $100 a booster box. Chilling Reign, it's been out for a few weeks now. It's sitting at around $120 a booster box. And Vivid Voltage, which is a recent reprint, although highly allocated, is sitting at around $130 right now for a sealed booster box. And this really begs the question, and something that has really irked me over the last few weeks, something that I have been contemplating, is where are all of the people from 6-8 months ago that were chiming from the rooftops that Pokemon was too expensive, that they were being ostracized from the market, whether it was modern, whether it was vintage. We had so many people out there that were saying that there was no way to enjoy this hobby, that there was no way to break into it, and that there was just a small segment of the hobby that were actually able to take advantage of either investing or collecting. Well, guess what? Market has changed dramatically, and the prices that we're seeing on many of these products, especially modern products, are at or even lower than what we've seen in years past prior to 2020. And guess what? Radio silence. Haven't heard anything. Haven't heard anything from any of these same people out there that now have more than an opportunity to pick up many of these products at such a discounted price, and one that is so cheap. And really, I bring this up because it goes to show the fickle nature of many of the people that entered this hobby over the last year, over the course of 2020, and how it is a very loud minority of people that often promulgate a lot of this nonsense, that it's not available, that people are not able to have access to these products because of the price. And when the price turns around, guess what? They're nowhere to be seen. They're not buying the product, they're not collecting it, and it just goes to show that the things that you hear and the current zeitgeist that you see very often on social media or in this hobby in general is not necessarily indicative of the hobby as a whole. And that's a good way to transition into our next topic here, which is all about investors, right? Investors in Pokemon, that is a term that has really come into the social consciousness over the last year of investing in Pokemon. And what we have seen is that there are a lot of ghosts that are coming back to haunt many people out there that jumped into the hobby in 2020 and in 2021. And one thing that you guys have heard me say and reiterate time and time again on this channel is not to over leverage yourself. And that is exactly what we're seeing with a lot of these products. Is the ghosts of greed's past are now coming back to haunt all the people out there that put many of these products on loans, on credit cards, that over leverage themselves, are now trying to liquidate, that are now trying to divulge themselves of much of this product just to try to save face. And it's one of those things that, if you haven't been in other markets before, it's just the same old song and dance. We see this time and time again, and we've talked about it. We've talked about it on this channel several times about how this was the expectation. When the market, the first sign of a bear market, you would see many of these people start to flee, many of the scalpers, which is great, right? It's great to not have scalpers in here. And this has really presented, in my opinion, a fantastic opportunity. And that's something that I want to drive home here today is through this discussion. There are so many opportunities out there, but you have to go against what your instincts tell you. Human beings, as you guys know, I'm a former financial advisor, and I can tell you from working with hundreds and hundreds of clients out there that investing goes against human instinct. Human beings are horrible investors. They're horrible investors because it goes against our instinctual nature on what we see in the market and our reaction to what's going on in the market. So let's go ahead and talk about that in a little bit higher terminology here. Let's go ahead and look at it from a more macro approach. And the thing that I want to talk about is two concepts here that we see in the financial markets, or two strategies that are utilized very often in the financial markets, and that is passive versus active investors. And this is really, you guys will see that this really translates nicely over to the Pokemon markets, not just, it's just not solely for the financial markets. So passive versus active investing, what does that mean? So this is really a strategy for portfolio management or for mutual fund management. Now, an active type of investor, this is the type of person that is trying to outperform the market. They are trying to outperform a particular benchmark. Let's call that benchmark the S&P 500. So they are actively trying to outperform that benchmark on a consistent basis. Now, for these type of investors out there, or for these portfolio managers rather, when the markets are doing really well, when we are in a bull market, they're doing pretty well also. Their portfolios are doing well because the market as a whole is in a nice period of time. On the other hand, we have passive type of investors. Now, these are the type of people that are trying to keep track with that benchmark. They're not trying to exceed. They're not trying to outperform it. They're just trying to keep pace with that particular benchmark, in this case, the S&P 500. Now, what we have seen from this, and the reason that I bring it up, is that time and time again over so many years, the 20, 30, 40 years, what we have seen here is that passive management strategies consistently outperform active management strategies. As I said, in a very high bull market, active type of investors do really well, but as soon as we start to dip into that bear market, the active investors always get burned in the end. Now, how does this relate to Pokemon? Well, this is exactly what we're seeing right now. During 2020, you had a lot of active investors. Market's riding high. You start to see the market go up, and everybody's jumping on that bandwagon. Everyone's getting 200, 300, 400, 500% return on their investments, on their flips. Well, guess what? As soon as that market turns back around, everybody does the exact opposite of what they should, and they start to sell off. That fear takes hold, and they start to sell off. And guess what? They get burned in the end. The losses are so significant. And that is more of a psychological thing here, right? Where that the highs, the dopamine rush of getting in while the market is good is less it's less of an enticement than when the market is doing poorly and you're taking those hits. It hurts a lot more when you're taking those hits than when you're riding those highs. And that's what we've seen. That is exactly what we've got here. And the people, I'm going to reiterate this right now, the people that will be successful once this is all said and done, once this all transpires and we go through this bear market, it's going to be those people that stood by, that stayed the course, and that continued to just try to maintain their position, continued to stay in the market. They never got out of the market. They continued to stay in the market, and they kept pace. And that, my friends, is a passive management strategy. And you can go out and you can do the research for yourself if you don't believe me, but you will see that time and time again that this sort of management strategy, this sort of strategy, whether it's with stocks, bonds, mutual funds, fixed income, what have you, it translates over really nicely to the Pokemon market as well. Passive versus active management strategies. And that really translates over nicely to our next topic here. And you guys have heard me talk about this before, and that is timing the market versus time in the market. You guys have heard me say this. This is a long-held mantra in the financial world. You will always want to be in the market longer and hold your position rather than trying to time the market and outperform. We see this again and again and again. Now, what does that have to do with what we're seeing with sealed products, especially modern products right now? What I see out there, I see huge opportunities. While everyone else is liquidating their positions, while everyone else is selling off, this presents a tremendous opportunity to many of you out there that can pick up these products at such a cheap price. You guys know, the members out there that are part of the PokéNav Club, you guys know this. I've seen you guys really taking advantage of this. You guys are picking up Battle Styles booster boxes for $89 a box. And this is the thing that so many people do not realize. When they start to see that market fall, again, this is an instinctual thing. They want to sell off. They want to sell those products and try to save face. But and the funny thing is that when the market does fall, this is where the real type of opportunities in lie. This is where you see people like Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio. This is where you see those type of people really start to shine. And that's because they realize the opportunity that lies here. Now, many people will think, well, it's just going to continue to fall. The market is just going to continue to fall. But when you think about it and you look at these products, it is very, very unlikely that they will ever fall below that distributor level pricing. So maybe they continue, maybe Battle Styles falls to $85 or $80 a booster box, but there's a floor there. There's always going to be some type of floor with many of these. Or if you go back to vintage and you start looking at vintage products and you see maybe a base set unlimited booster box that has now fallen from its highs from around $35,000 to $40,000 down to $20,000, $15,000, and you'll start to see more of those. And I've seen it myself. I've seen more and more of these come back onto the open market. It's becoming more prevalent. And you'll start to see the savvy type of investors out there that will eventually pick these up because they'll say it's just so cheap. It's so cheap that even if it does fall a little bit more, there's a floor there. It can't go down forever, just as it can't go up forever. And these are the opportunities that lie. So the best strategy to kind of sum all of this up, in my opinion, is what we call dollar cost averaging. This is a strategy within the financial world, mainly used in things like retirement accounts, where no matter what the market is doing, whether the market is up, whether the market is down, you're putting the same amount of money in on the same periodic basis. So call it $200 a month, and you just do that perpetually. And you take advantage of the highs and you take advantage of the lows. You buy more shares when it's at the low and you take advantage of the higher gains when the market comes back up. And that's the opportunity that I see here with a lot of these products is the price that they're at is really that opportunity to incorporate that passive management strategy, that dollar cost averaging approach of buying products, sticking within your means as always, sticking within your financial means, understanding what you can buy, how much you can buy, not over leveraging yourself. These are all really, really important aspects, I think, to being in this hobby for the long term. And that's really what we've seen, right? We're starting to see that. We're starting to see that separation of the unknowledgeable and the knowledgeable, the savvy and the unsavvy. We're starting to see that now. And a lot of this loud minority is starting to dissipate. And you're going to see people rise out of this market right now really, really well. And you're going to see them establish their positions, really strong positions, and 24 months from now, 36 months from now, they're going to be very, very happy with the decisions that they made during these markets. I think it's Warren Buffett that always said, never let a good travesty go to waste, or a down market go to waste, something to that extent. And that's exactly what we have here, folks. That is exactly what we're seeing. And I feel for the stores. I feel for the LGSs out there. And this is something else I want to discuss here today is for many of you out there that are struggling, try to reassess, try to pivot, try to change your course of action on what you have been doing. This is something that I saw coming a while back. And so I changed my business model. No longer am I wanting to or willing to try to chase margins out on the reseller realm. Now my business model is completely different. Basically, I'm just trying to get people the lowest cost for products with memberships. It really is a great business model because it's really a win-win for everyone. So no matter what the market is doing, whether it's really high, whether products are astronomically high, or whether it's really low, guess what? You still take advantage of every market in this business model. And that's really the direction that I'm heading. That's the direction that we're heading with this new business venture. And something that I would certainly look at for all of you out there, all of you LGSs or online resellers, start looking at a way to pivot, because the only way that you stay relevant is if you stay malleable. And that's really what I want to leave you with today. The last thing that I want to discuss here is real world examples of people that understand the concepts that I've been talking about today. And these are real orders. These are from members that are a part of the PokéNav Club. And these are real world orders that, and they're from people that understand this, that understand what it takes to be successful and take advantage of this down market. And the first one here, we've got this first order, which comes from one of our members. They purchased 4 Welcome to Wrath booster boxes from Flesh and Blood. Those are $57 a booster box. Modern Horizons 2 bundle, purchased 2 of those for also $57 a booster box. And then they got 2 Modern Horizons 2 collector boosters at $310 for each of those. And the ultimate savings on these, this is really where it makes sense. And this is really where these people get the ultimate savings of a program like this. The savings on that, $152 from retail price. And I'm taking some of the lowest retail prices out there. And I'm basically giving them the benefit of the doubt, saying that these other retailers will provide free shipping as well. $152 savings there. Another order that we'll go ahead and highlight here was from another gentleman who is a member. They bought 2 Modern Horizons 2 collector boosters, $310 a piece, and then 2 Modern Horizons 2 bundles, $57 a piece. The savings on this compared to retail price, again, $90 here. Purchasing at the bottom, consistently at the bottom. This is where you make the margins, folks. It's not always about what the eventual price point is. I worry a lot more and I concentrate a lot more on what your initial purchase price is. That is really going to be a great indication of where your value, where your margin is going to be at some point in the future. Focus on that first and foremost. Do not let this bear market just pass by you. Do not fall into the mindset of the masses of liquidating. There is always opportunities out there in every single market. Bull or bear market, there is always an opportunity out there, and you just need to look a little bit deeper to find it. So guys, I think that'll do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. We've got more fantastic content coming out later this week and a lot of really cool information coming out on the new business venture that I've been hinting at. You guys are definitely going to want to keep an eye out for that because it's going to help a lot of you out. And especially if you get the information that we've discussed here today, you understand a lot of these strategies, these tactics, then you're definitely going to want to take advantage of this new business. Other than that, guys, I will see you all next time. My name is PokéNav. I'm here to help you navigate the world of Pokemon one video at a time, and I will see you all in the next video.